Imagine being told that someone was allegedly looking for a person willing to kill a woman and 3 children. Already that sounds like the beginning of one of the darkest criminal cases imaginable. But then you learn who the accused man is. He was not someone hiding from the police. He was not someone investigators had been searching for in the streets. He was a Garda, a serving member of the organization people in Ireland call when they believe their lives are in danger. And now, that Garda stands accused of allegedly trying to get another person to murder 4 people. A woman, a young girl, and 2 boys. But even that is only the beginning of this case, because investigators say the alleged offenses date back years. The investigation eventually reached the Garda Anti-Corruption Unit. The officer was suspended. He was arrested. And when he finally appeared inside a Dublin courtroom, he was facing 5 separate charges. 4 of them concerned allegations of murder solicitation. The 5th revealed another disturbing accusation involving the same woman. And because of strict reporting restrictions, almost everyone at the center of this case remains hidden from public view. No name for the accused. No names for the alleged victims. Very little information about the relationship between them. And one enormous unanswered question. What happened behind closed doors to bring investigators to this point? The accused is a Garda in his 30s who had been serving in the Dublin area. According to the charges presented before Dublin District Court, the central allegations concern events in August of 2021. Prosecutors allege that he solicited an unknown person to murder a woman, a girl, and 2 boys. That means the allegation is not that he personally attacked them. The accusation is that he tried to get another person to kill them. 4 alleged intended victims. 3 of them children. And the person now accused was himself a member of An Garda Síochána. That fact alone makes this case extraordinary. Because Garda officers are normally the people investigating allegations like these. They interview witnesses. They gather evidence. They arrest suspects. They help protect people believed to be in danger. But in this investigation, attention turned inward. The Garda Anti-Corruption Unit began investigating the activities of a particular Garda member based in Dublin. At some point after that investigation began, the officer was suspended from duty. Exactly how investigators came to focus on him has not been publicly explained. And that is where this story becomes even more intriguing. Because the public knows what the charges are. But the evidence behind those charges has not yet been laid out in full before the court. We do not know who the unknown person allegedly approached by the Garda was. We do not know what prosecutors say was communicated between them. We do not know what allegedly motivated the supposed plan. And we do not know exactly what investigators found that eventually led to an arrest. Those questions remain unanswered. But on the morning of August 19, 2026, the investigation reached a major turning point. The Garda was arrested at Kevin Street Garda Station in Dublin. Shortly after 9 that morning, he was formally charged. Detective Sergeant Mark Melbourne from the Garda Anti-Corruption Unit later told the court that the accused made no reply when the charges were put to him. And there were 5 charges in total. 4 concerned the alleged solicitation of another person to commit murder. Those 4 charges involved the woman, the girl, and the 2 boys. But there was another charge. And this one allegedly began even earlier. The Garda is also accused of attempting, by deception, to induce the woman to refrain from seeking financial support for a child. According to the court allegations, that offense occurred sometime between February of 2019 and July of 2020. That places the allegation before the alleged murder solicitation offenses of August 2021. And it adds another piece to a case where the full picture is still not publicly known. The Irish Times reported that the woman involved in that 5th charge is also one of the people whose murder the Garda is accused of soliciting. But because of the court restrictions, the public cannot be told who she is. The identities of the children are also protected, and the accused Garda himself cannot be named. Those restrictions were imposed for an important reason. 3 of the witnesses in the case are children. The court therefore prohibited the media from publishing information that could identify any of the parties involved. So this is one of those rare cases where the central allegation is public, but almost everything surrounding the people involved remains behind a wall. We know there is an accused Garda. We know there is a woman. We know there are 3 children. We know there are 4 allegations that he tried to get someone else to murder them, but we cannot connect those pieces with names or personal details. And until evidence is presented in court, we cannot fill those gaps with speculation. That matters, because these are allegations. The Garda has been charged, but he has not been convicted. He is entitled to the presumption of innocence unless and until the prosecution proves the charges against him. Still, what happened during his first court appearance shows how serious the case has become. The officer appeared before Judge Derek McCarthy at Dublin District Court. There was no objection to bail. He was released on his own bond of €300. His passport was surrendered, and the case was adjourned. But this is not staying in the district court. The next major stage is expected to take place before the Central Criminal Court. That matters because the Central Criminal Court deals with some of the most serious criminal cases in Ireland. The Garda's due to appear there again on September 25th. At that stage, a book of evidence is expected to be served, and that could become one of the most important moments in this entire case. Because right now, the allegations are known. The underlying evidence is not. And there is an enormous difference between those two things. For investigators to bring charges this serious against a serving member of the Garda, an extensive investigation has already taken place. But Garda Síochána has said very little publicly about that investigation. Officials confirmed that the Garda had been suspended since the investigation began. Beyond that, because the criminal proceedings are ongoing, the organization said it would make no further comment. So we are left with an unusual situation. An anti-corruption unit investigating one of the force's own members. A Garda suspended from duty. 4 alleged intended murder victims. 3 children among them. An additional allegation involving financial support for a child. And an unknown person who prosecutors say was solicited to carry out the killings. Who was that person? How did investigators learn about the alleged approach? Did that person go to Garda? Did investigators uncover communications? Was someone being watched? Was there some other piece of evidence that opened the investigation? Right now, none of those answers have been established publicly. And until they are presented through the legal process, they remain questions. But they are questions that make this case incredibly difficult to look away from. Because imagine the investigation from the beginning. Somewhere, somehow, information reaches investigators that eventually causes them to examine one of their own colleagues. Not over a minor disciplinary issue, not over an administrative mistake, but over allegations connected to the planned deaths of 4 people. The Garda Anti-Corruption Unit becomes involved. The officer is suspended. The investigation continues. Years separate the alleged offenses from his appearance in court. And eventually, on an August morning in 2026, he is brought into Kevin Street Garda Station. He is arrested. He is charged. And suddenly an investigation that had largely existed outside public view becomes national news. Even then, however, the names remain hidden. And that creates one of the strangest aspects of this entire story. People across Ireland can read the allegation. They can know the number of people allegedly targeted. They can know that children were involved. They can know that the accused was a Garda. But they cannot know who any of them are. That means there's almost no way for the public to understand what relationship existed between the accused and the alleged victims beyond the limited facts put before the court. and that relationship could become one of the most important parts of the case as proceedings continue. For now, though, the safest thing is to stay with what has actually been reported. A Garda in his 30s, formerly serving in the Dublin area and now suspended from duty, has been charged with 4 counts alleging that he solicited an unknown person to murder a woman and 3 children. The alleged murder solicitation offenses date to August of 2021. He also faces a 5th charge alleging that between February of 2019 and July of 2020, he attempted by deception to induce the woman to refrain from seeking financial support for a child. He made no reply when charged. He was granted bail. His passport was surrendered. Strict reporting restrictions protect the identities of everyone involved, and the case is expected to move forward again before the Central Criminal Court on September 25th. Until then, the biggest questions remain unanswered. What exactly does the prosecution say happened? Who was the unknown person allegedly approached? How did the Anti-Corruption Unit discover the alleged plan? And what evidence caused investigators to believe that a Garda was trying to arrange the murders of a woman and 3 children? Those answers could eventually come in court. But right now, Ireland is left with one deeply unsettling allegation. The man whose job was to help enforce the law is accused of asking someone else to commit one of the most serious crimes possible. Not against one person, against 4. A woman, a girl, and 2 boys. And perhaps the most chilling part of the story is that, for now, we know what he is accused of doing, but we still do not know the full story of why investigators believe he did it.